What's your favorite part that your mother used to ignite souls?
She would very often tell the footstep story. She told over a story how it was pre-war Hungary and her parents bundled up everybody. It was in the winter and they made a big trip to Nadedvar to visit the Nadedvar Zeta because they knew hard days were coming and they didn't know when else would they get to see him. And so the family made the trip, and it was a dangerous trip. She says the door opened and her Bubby opened up the door and gave her a big hug and a kiss, and then they went into the room. They called the Sparenstimmer, the room where my great-grandfather was learning, and he picked up my mother and put her on his lap, and she sees tears falling down from his eyes onto the page of the Gemara, and she ran to her father with fear in her heart. Why is the Zeta crying? And my grandfather put my mother's coat back on and her boots and his coat, and they went outside for a walk in the snow. And wherever my grandfather stepped and made a footstep, he said to my mother, "You follow me in the footsteps." And my mother followed. And he said, "Do you know why I'm asking you to follow in my footsteps in the snow?" And my mother, a little girl, said, "To make it easier for me to walk." And the Zeta said, "That's why your Zeta is crying, because hard days are coming ahead of us. We don't know what's going to be. But one thing he wants that each of the children should know, they should always follow in the footsteps. And he is davening and he is learning to make footsteps for you. And all his actions and all his mitzvahs are to be your footsteps for you to follow in. And one day you're going to be, Am Yisrael will survive and you'll live, and in Yirtzeh Hashem you will follow in the footsteps." And whenever my mother would tell the story, and I heard it so many times, I would still get all watery-eyed and teary. And this was my mother's life mission, to follow in the footsteps. And when she would speak to people and tell them, follow in the footsteps, I think it would wake up that little Pintele Yid in the neshama.